Dr. Paul Tibbits, the Deputy CIO for the Office of Enterprise Development at Department of Veterans Affairs. Dr. Tibbits was inducted into the Senior Executive Service February of 2004, appointed in the role he is currently at in December of 2006. He serves on assignment as Chairman of the Transformation 21 Work Group to set in place the IT organization, processes, projects, and knowledge management tools necessary to prepare VA to operate in the 21st century. Dr. Tibbits is an experienced senior executive leader in change management, organizational development, managing global health IT systems, planning, problem solving, metrics, outsourcing, contracts, finance, employee effectiveness, and customer satisfaction. And with that, I hand it over to my friend, Mr. Dr. Tibbits.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good. Very nice location here. I can't imagine what motivated you all to get up at 7:30, and also can't imagine what I'm doing at this conference, but I looked through the material here, some of the voluminous stuff that Parham sent me, and I noticed that one of the topics, I'm not going to talk about anything technical, so I hope you're not disappointed about that, but I noticed that on the top of the list here was transparency and open government, so I guess I'm one of the transparency and open government people. So good luck to me. I hope you feel you know something more about transparency by the time I finish. It's great to see all of you here. It's a great turnout. I am really scared when I come to these kind of things. For those of you who do Myers-Briggs, I'm an INTJ, by the way, so this stuff terrifies me. So I once heard a story where a four-star general shows up to this conference, and he walks into this enormous room with his host, beautiful crystal chandeliers, hundreds of chairs in there, 10 minutes before the presentation. Thank you. He's telling me to get on with it. 10 minutes before the presentation, and all the chairs are empty. And this general looks over at his host and says, gee, I'm on stage here in 10 minutes, hundreds of chairs, and they're empty. Didn't you tell people I was coming? I mean, what's going on here? The guy looks at him and says, oh, no, sir, we certainly did not, but it looks like the word must have leaked out. So I'm thrilled to be here, and hope you get something out of this. Let me start off here. Well, first of all, let me start off with a few sort of personal moves of engagement here for me. I'm very interested in meeting with industry. I have done so my entire career. I like to believe that, well, I am trying to at least make a convergence here between where industry thinks it's going with respect to what it sells federal government, and for us to get smart on the buyer side with respect to what we ask for, so we don't continue to ask for stupid things, which I think we have a long history of doing. And then, of course, we blame you for selling it to us, but Cure Notice is really good at those. We're papering over our own stupidity. But anyway, I like to do that, so it's really tricky. It's to do so, to meet with me. It's paul.tibbits@va.gov. The bar is very high to get in to see me. You simply ask my admin assistant for an appointment, and you get one. Now, you may not sell us anything, but I certainly get smarter out of those interactions. I hope you get smarter out of those interactions, and subsequent to those interactions, of course, we all have to go through the FAR kabuki dance with each other. So this is not an end run around that, but I hope we're smarter about buying and selling. Also, we just had an industry day at the Technical Acquisition Center in New Jersey. For those of you who want to do business or want to do more business with us, you should become familiar with the Technical Acquisition Center in Eatontown, New Jersey. By the way, I don't know where that is, so good luck to all of you on finding it on a map. But I know it's 4 hours from my house, but upwards. Anyway, we have a crackerjack contracting team up there whose executive director is Wendy McCutcheon. I'd ask you to remember that name. And to do those things you all wish to do with our contracting community to make sure they're aware of your interests and your presence and interest in selling to the VA. That industry day, we had 200 companies show up, 400 people, and 2 hours of that day was spent on the VA enterprise architecture. I'm trying to learn more about it. We in the VA are trying to learn more about it in order for our enterprise architecture to become practical and purpose-driven. We are looking for customers for that enterprise architecture. Have your customers rate your product, right? Our internal developers are the first group I picked as customers. Our external developers are the second group I picked. So we asked industry to come back with feedback to us on what they, industry, you, think our enterprise architecture needs to be, were it to be provided to you in all future solicitations as government furnished information. What would you want that to be in order to best understand our computing environment and best construct thoughtful proposals back to us based on what it is you see our computing environment to be, good, bad, and ugly. Those one-on-one briefings now back to us are starting the week of 14 December. All of that's announced in Fed Biz Ops. You would have to contact the TAC in New Jersey to sign up, and what I don't know, because I don't remember how Wendy wants to run this, whether those who sign up must have attended the first industry day. I'm not sure, but you can try and ask, and if you didn't, you certainly can get all the slides anyway off the website. If you have thoughts on what our enterprise architecture should be, we would certainly like to hear it. Okay, that said, I'm going to move on to the Program Management Accountability System here. Let's see. This was, is a management framework. The name system, I think, might send you the wrong signal. You're not going to get a briefing from me on any tools this morning, other than we use SharePoint and Excel to do this, and a lot of email. It is an approach. And it's an approach intended to, like the alcoholic, to admit that we have a problem is the first step to fixing that problem. Some of you have probably seen that already on the OMB website, where the color red is prominently represented on the VA submission to the OMB website. You're going to see a lot of that color red in the future as we get actually smarter and better about both discovery, as I'll mention to you as we go through this, of what actually are our projects, which we're very much in the process of discovering right now, and then go through this process of rating them, which you'll hear about, and making some disposition on them, and then figuring out the mapping of all those. I keep saying projects here, so that all has to get mapped up to that reporting structure that we then use in the OMB website. So there's a lot of challenges there, but nonetheless, if I had to guess, I'd say 3, maybe 4 months from now, we'll be pretty stable in what we're reporting. Although we're reporting real data now, it's going to be evolving because we're still discovering, we're still dispositioning systems and all that kind of stuff. But so there'll be some evolution in the numbers, I'd say, over the next 3 or 4 months. But what you see there is real data as best we can represent it, and it's going to get, I guess I'll say, more real and more accurate over that short period of time here while we're getting smarter at it. So the problem statement here, VA has a long history of a lot of problems in IT. Yes, it's true that from a healthcare perspective, we have succeeded over the past 2.5 decades or so in achieving the highest degree of penetration of information and technology into healthcare delivery of any healthcare provider institution in the United States. For all intents and purposes, if you don't know it, healthcare delivery in the VA, for all intents and purposes, is completely automated. We are as close, I would think, in healthcare delivery to a paperless process as you would find anywhere in the United States from a healthcare perspective. Meaningful use, I mean, we're way ahead of this quote-unquote meaningful use criteria and all those sort of things. Every physician does computer-based physician order entry, et cetera, et cetera. A leapfrog group recommendation. Nonetheless, with that being, good news in the extreme, there are discipline problems with respect to what many of you would recognize as Mach 1, Mod 0 program management discipline. How we put things together, whether it's, and then implement them and then run them. If you are enamored of, which I am, by the way, if you are enamored of life cycle management, if you are enamored of the notion total cost of ownership, which I am, you can apply those lenses to what the VA does, and you'd find out we have enormous